I need a good.
I just
show
like
to watch
watching
now.
whatever the newest black entertainment is on Netflix that's on the front page all month. I just watch that pretty much all day, every day. Like, there's no limit to how much joy I can get out of like that What is that the movie with the women, the black women in the army?
the heroic mailman, right?
Yeah, I've watched that about 40 times now, I think.
Are you inspired?
Over and over. I'm inspired as fuck by that, man.
Does it make you want to sort?
I want to suck Tyler Perry's dick. Yeah. I love it. And then that Madness, I just switched over to that because it's a new year. So I said, well, new black entertainment for me, please, Netflix. And it's about, I don't know if you saw it. It starts out bad. Great, like the acting is great. The lead guy who's black is great. Totally intriguing. And then it's terrible. And then the plot starts where it's about like the most racist society on earth, and the Proud Boys are like a terrorist organization, and all the cops, even the black cop, are like racist from like a time that never existed towards the main character, who's a famous black celebrity. That's when it really gets cooking, and that happens in the middle of like episode 1. So I really can't wait for the next 8 episodes.
Damn, it's called Madness.
It's called The Madness. Yeah.
Some people really enjoy being a victim. And it's just like, it's just making up ways to be, and it's what you just said, like racist in a way.
Pretty bad rating.
It's like they invent a racist time period that never even existed. I'm not denying racism. I'm just denying that this. I'm watching, and like the random people on the street are just like, "What are you doing here, boy?"
Yeah, up yours. And I'm like, well, that hasn't happened ever.
It's like, and we used to know that. If you go back to what's the Mel Brooks movie?
Blazing Saddles.
If you go back to Blazing Saddles, you got the granny coming by and going, "Up yours, ninja." Yeah, play for laughs because it's so over the top. Never would a granny come and just be that outright flat on the. I mean, I don't think.
I mean, it would be ridiculous even if she did it. It would be so humorous and stupid.
And that's the point. Yeah.
Like, I'm watching this movie and I'm like, well, you remember when Jussie Smollett like made up a hate crime and the whole country got behind him? And this show is about a black guy who's like getting hunted by white terrorists and like nobody believes him. I'm like, this doesn't track really.
They're like in the middle of the road. Like just
they're doing it like on CCTV, like in the hospital. Like there's just so much surveillance that could catch these guys.
They have a job the next day, despite like hounding a black guy in public, yelling slurs at him.
God, have you guys seen American Fiction?
I haven't even heard of that.
So you know the guy Jeffrey Wright, black actor. He played the Felix Leitner, the CIA guy in the James Bond movies, the new ones. Yes. With great actor, right? So he plays like a very educated, academic, like cultured black author who's like hates the like the modern exploitation of like of black creators and like makes them all like dumb down shit for white people, like how they're like all because all the in the movie American Fiction, there's his rival is like this black woman who's writing books. It's like, and then she's talking like this totally like ghetto black affect, and he's like filled with rage, and disgust at it. So he writes a book as a joke, as like the dumbest version of a black guy he can do, making fun of them, and it becomes a huge success. So he has to start playing this stereotype, and like he's like, the way the guy talks is not ghetto at all, but every time he's on like a conference call, he's like, yeah, like it's like him doing blackface. It's so funny. The opening line of him talking about this book is like, oh, is the author on? And he comes and he goes, this is he, and his agent goes like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's not how. And he's like, yeah, and he's like playing this ex-con, like totally making up all this bullshit and trying to stay ahead of his lies. It's so funny.
Yeah, this sounds pretty funny.
Dude, it's great. It's great. It won a bunch of Oscars, but I honestly think like the reason that the things that the movie's making fun of are why it didn't get a lot of play. It's really funny.
I bookmarked that. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah,
that looks really fun.
Yeah.
Any other black entertainment you can turn us on to?
That's the one.
That's the main one.
Take that one to the bank.
You recommend American Fiction. You don't
I hated
recommend...
it. I hated it because it would. Now, don't watch American Fiction. You got to watch the Mail Lady movie a couple more times, I think.
I haven't seen the Mail Lady movie. It's just in the context of World War II, I can't think of a lower stakes like thing. You know, it's like all the World War II movies we had are like, we have to storm this bunker or we're going to get shredded by the fucking Nazis. Hey, if we don't get in these tunnels, the Japanese are going to crawl out of them and like stick, torture us to death.
I feel bad ripping on it, but it's been on the fucking Netflix screen for like all month. So I'm like, all right.
We explained the premise. It's World War II, and these black women did what to be heroes? And
they fixed the mail. Yeah, they like the mail wasn't getting delivered, the U.S. troop mail. Oh. So people writing letters from home, troops writing letters back. It wasn't working. People were messing it up.
They don't need a movie. That's a great thing they did. There was some guy who fixed all the holes in the tires over there at the bus stop that drove the troops to the training center. We don't make a movie about him. Old tire fixing Joe. He doesn't get a movie. You know how many tires he fixed over the years? You know how many hundreds of thousands of troops needed to go on these buses? It's because of Joe. He doesn't get a movie because that's fucking stupid.
Joe should get a movie. We just start doing it to all this. It's tires. Like no one's gonna rip on him for organizing the mail, but it's like a whole movie in like World War II happening where it's like, guys, the deadline is tomorrow, and like in the background, there's a guy with like one limb left on a gurney.
The reason I don't like it is because there's some legitimately good black stories. The one Reddit always brings up is that one guy who like was a slave and then ended up commandeering like a naval vessel and fighting in the Civil War and returning it to the North, and then maybe he became like a state senator or something, or like all this crazy shit. And this guy was a slave. And went and did all that. Like there's a guy I watch a movie about. Throw fucking Denzel in some chains and then let him be a boat captain and then let him be a senator. I watch the shit out of that. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't care about those black ladies who fix the mail. I'm glad they fixed the mail. I'm glad the mail got to going because I bet you'd want your fucking letter from home. But I don't think you get a movie. I just don't think you get a movie. The problem is that somebody's watching the movie. Somebody's watching that movie and going,
yeah,
girls gather round. I want y'all to see the heroes, the heroes of World War II. That's your great grand aunt or some shit, you know, like, I don't care. Let's do a Thomas Jefferson movie that tells the truth though. You know how old that slave daughter of his was that he impregnated? She was 15. He was 51.
Oh,
old. You know what the worst part is?
Tommy J was doing.
All right, now I know you're thinking that sounds bad, but hear me out. The 15-year-old's half-sister was his wife.
How old was she?
She was a normal age until she died, and he went to leaning on the 15-year-old more and more. She was pregnant by 16.
Let's.
And she had several children, which he promised her that he would free as long as she agreed to accompany him back and forth to France. See, the thing about accompanying Thomas Jefferson is who I'm talking about. I hope I said that from the beginning.
Yeah, you
did. The thing about accompanying Jefferson back and forth from France to the U.S. is he has to legally free her every time and then re-enslave her when they come back. And she has to agree to be enslaved.
All right, flip your necklace around.
Yeah. And so she did because he promised her he would free her children, who I'm pretty sure were 7/8 white, because she was only like a quarter black and a slave. And then he had these children where I think they're an 8 black. So they're 7/8 white.
Huh.
He does not free them. He enslaves them and sells them.
Oh, well, you know, also, they shouldn't make a movie about this either.
No, that'd be a good movie.
Father of our country, Taylor.
Yeah, that'd be a good movie.
Yeah.
What if you made an erotic thriller?
Kyle, I don't know if you know this. You're making him sound like a bad guy.
You make like that the 15-year-old. It's Zendaya. You make Zendaya the 15-year-old. Thomas Jefferson,
and make The Rock Thomas Jefferson.
I don't know.
There we go. How about like you need to, dude? If he's gonna be pulling shit like that, you need someone supremely likable. How about Chris Pratt?
No, I need an old dude. He needs to be older than 51 because Thomas Jefferson might have been 51, but he looks 65. You know what I mean? It was a rough time. So get me a 65-year-old guy. Get me maybe Tom Arnold. That'll work. Put Tom Arnold in one of his weird
Arnold.
wigs. Yeah, he's out of
No.
shape
He's got a legacy to
way.
maintain. I loved him in The Stupids.
He's such a grand statesman too. He's got that affect.
I
Yeah.
like Tom Arnold. I like that he always shit on Roseanne. That was fun when they broke up back in the day. And
Are there any movies
swing barbs
about Ben Franklin and all his like whoring escapades in France?
Yeah. There's a really good. It's HBO or Showtime or something, and with John Leguizamo, not John Leguizamo. I can't think of the actor's name, but there's a mini series, is what I mean to say, and it's him going to France to negotiate for the United States. I don't think they focus on the whoring that much.
Oh,
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, like to ignore.
that's all
that
people
stuff.
care about.
Yeah, that's all. Or like maybe
Yeah.
like see him like stoked about like trifocals or something. One of those things, which is like,
Whoa!
was he really the guy who figured that out? Looking
Yeah.
at different types of glass. That just seems so like glasses had been around for so long.
Nobody
mean,
had ever figured
you-
out bifocals.
Are you trying
Yeah.
to take bifocals away from one of our founding fathers the same way you took the magic away from Coco the gorilla and Helen Keller,
Helen Keller.
the
Helen
retard?
Keller. Helen Keller
Noted
was a
retard.
retard, and I'm glad
Noted
that everyone's
retard and fraud.
Everyone's come around. Everyone's drifted towards me on that one.